What's going on, everybody? It's your boy PTK Blam back with another video. And before we dive into today's video, I do want to say shout out to everybody for the support on the channel. Shout out to everybody that's coming out watching the show, the Shop Podcast live on Sundays at 3 p.m. AZ time, 5 p.m. EST. Greatly appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate all you guys coming out every single week supporting the channel as well as the podcast, and everybody who contributes to that. You guys are amazing. So thank you for that as well too. Now, if you guys can't tell, I am a little bit under the weather making this video, but the show must go on. I got a great topic, something that I really want to talk about. So let's get into that. If you guys looking at the thumbnail, you guys know I've always been a huge proponent of Game Pass, and that's really what this video was about. I try and give Game Pass as much love as it possibly can get, because it does get a lot of hate, so to speak, and there's a lot of misinformation about Game Pass. But Game Pass has completely transformed the gaming industry, and personally for me, it's completely changed the way I purchase, play games as well. It's opened up everything for me. There's so many genres that I have never gotten a chance to play, and due to having Game Pass, I've gone in and played these games, and it's unlocked all kind of genres and games that I now love. So, for example, I am a huge Diablo fan. I would have never, ever been in ARPGs had it not been for Game Pass, me being able to get in and play something like a Torchlight 3 or something like that. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But that's just one example of Game Pass changing things for me. It's still the best value in gaming, in my opinion. There's really no other service like it. You know, Nintendo or Sony don't offer anything like that, nor does PC. So I think it's a great service. And I want to just talk about 3 games in particular that kind of stick out for me. Now, it's not about how big the games are. That's really not what Game Pass is for. We all know the most of us subscribe to Game Pass for all of the first party stuff, right? The Halos, the Gears, the Call of Duties. You get all of the benefits of getting all of those awesome big AAA first party games. That's why a majority of the people have Game Pass. But the other side of the coin is that you get to experience all these really cool mid to smaller indie developers who make fucking phenomenal games that otherwise you never would have took the time to even look at and or play. So that's kind of why I want to highlight these 3 games in particular. These aren't 3 huge games, but they left a lasting impact on me, and I really think you guys should play them, give them a try, and have fun with them. You know what I mean? They're phenomenal. So we're going to start with the first game, and this game called Core Keeper. It is developed by Pugstorm. Essentially, it is a top-down sandbox game. You know, if you ever played a game like Terraria, very much the same type of game. It does have its differences, its twists and turns, but it is a phenomenal game. Shout out to Pugstorm. This game kind of hit my radar randomly. Just one day I turned on Game Pass. I'm like, what is this? So I decided, usually what I do, if I'm unfamiliar with the game, is I just go to YouTube, look it up, and I thought it looked phenomenal. So some of the things I enjoy about the game: great combat, tons of weapons and variety. It's very much like a Minecraft, Terraria. There's automation, there's weapons, there's crafting, there's leveling up. Some of the other cool things about the game is the very pretty game as well too. Now, it is kind of a pixel art game. That's the art style, but it's very much like Octopath Traveler, where it's really pretty. The lighting is really beautiful. The environments are really beautiful. Even though it's pixel art, it's a very great looking game. And I enjoyed, you can easily put, probably a couple 100 hours in the game, truth be told. There's been a bunch of updates that come out, and I'll post a few on the screen here. And the roadmap for this game looks extremely bright. So I would definitely want to shout out that game. That's a game that stuck out for me. I do jump in and out off and on. I put some hours into that game. It's really fun to play. Once again, it's in Game Pass. So if you don't have Game Pass, I don't even really think it's that expensive. The game might be $20 or less. So I have to verify that, but it's a phenomenal game. It's a game that, once again, I did not play Terraria. I did not play those kinds of games. But this is a perfect balance of a Terraria, Minecraft, sandbox, and they have really cool boss fights too. That's another thing. The bosses are really cool. The biomes are really cool. It is a fucking awesome game. Shout out to Pugstorm for putting this game out. I definitely think you guys should check out Core Keeper. I am a huge proponent of that game. The next game I want to talk about, this game is called Brotato. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but it's funny because honestly, there's a lot of people. I looked on my friend list after I purchased the game. There's a lot of people that actually play it. So I didn't know this might be a guilty pleasure for a lot of people, but If you've never heard of Brotato, I know if you look at the screen, the cover art looks a little silly. You're like, what is going on here? Why is there an egg with an AK? It doesn't make any sense. It's essentially a top-down arena roguelike shooter. I know that is a mouthful, right? But if you've played Vampire Survivors, it's very much like that. Now, obviously, there's a little differences and twists in how the game works, but generally, it's very much like a Vampire Survivor. As you defeat the waves, you get level up weapons, you get to customize your character, you do all these different types of things. You add on attributes and stats and all these kinds of things to build up a particular type of character, and there is a ton of characters. I'll put it on screen right now. I don't know how many there are as of right now. There's probably like 50, 60 characters in Brotato, and once again, very, very cheap game, a ton of replayability, so fun. It's a game you can jump in, maybe play 20, 30 minutes, do a couple runs, and jump out. You don't feel guilty about it. It's just an extremely fun game, and it's another game that if I didn't have Game Pass, I just would not have played it. I would have looked at it and be like, oh, okay, that it is what it is, and I would have moved on. Once again, highlighting the fact that Game Pass has opened up, for me personally, just my horizons and expanded on the type of games that I even attempt to play nowadays. So that game as well, was made by Blobfish, which is a single indie dev. So shout out to Blobfish for making that game. It's a phenomenal game. Great roadmap as well, too. They put out a bunch of content since the game's out. There's been a bunch of updates as well, too. So I don't think that game's going to slow down anytime soon. And this is the beauty of Game Pass as well, that these games get new life. They find a group, they find a crowd, they find their audience, and that allows these games to be built up over time. Who knows if Brotato had just dropped traditionally on its own, if anybody would have played it and or paid attention to it. But because it's in Game Pass and it's actually a really good game, now it has a big roadmap. I'm sure it has millions of downloads at this point, and it's a phenomenal game. And the last game I want to talk about, I mentioned it earlier in the video, and this is really my first foray into ARPGs, and that's going to be Torchlight 3. And this is a game developed by Runic Games. Once again, it's an ARPG. As you guys know, I did not play Diablo. I did not play any of those games 3-4 years ago. Torchlight 3 got me into this game. I decided one night, just cruising Game Pass, like, oh, this looks interesting. I wonder what this is. Saw the trailer, went to YouTube, watched some gameplay, and said, okay, why not? And I played it, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. And that was my first foray, excuse me, into ARPGs. Once again, it piqued my interest. And that's really the beauty of Game Pass. And that's really the highlight. I highlighted 3 games, but really the highlight is that Game Pass allows you to discover games like this. My gaming diet would be completely different had I not had Game Pass. So Torchlight 3, like I said before, just another game I wanted to highlight here quickly in the video that I think is a really phenomenal game. Great roadmap. I'm pretty sure they're still dropping new content for this game as well too. So once again, man, if you guys enjoy the video, let me know what you think about, there's some games in Game Pass, 2 or 3 games that you guys, wouldn't have played had you not had Game Pass. Let me know down in the comment section as well. And once again, appreciate the support on the Shop podcast as well. We will be coming you live once again every single Sunday, new day, new time, 3 p.m. AZ time, 5 p.m. EST. Come check us out. But I appreciate all you guys. Let me know what you think of the video,